All right, let's bring in Fox News contributor and friend of the show, Michelle Malkin, this morning. Nice to see you, Michelle. Welcome to the show.
Good to see you. Thank you.
We've got a lot to talk about this morning because there was quite a bit of news here in the dog days of summer as the campaign sort of kicked into high gear this week. And President Obama talking to CBS News this week and saying that Mitt Romney is continuing down this narrative that Mitt Romney, as the executor of Bain Capital, is really unqualified to run the economy. Take a listen.
When some people questioned why I would challenge his Bain record, the point I've made there in the past is if you're a head of a large private equity firm or hedge fund, your job is to make money. It's not to create jobs. It's not even to create a successful business. It's to make sure that you are maximizing returns for your investor. Now, that's appropriate. That's part of the American way. That's part of the system. But that doesn't necessarily make you qualified to think about the economy as a whole.
Michelle, your response to those comments this week?
Let me pick my jaw up off the floor. I'm floored by the audacity of this man who has overseen near double-digit unemployment for most of his tenure, challenging anybody else's job creation record. But I think it's a very telling glimpse into the mind of a command and control progressive. You know, this idea that only someone with his extensive training and background to think about the economy as a whole is equipped to deal with the situation that we have now and the dire job figures. And I think that there's a lot of buried false premises and assumptions about what people who work in financial markets, and particularly the hedge fund industry and private equity, do. I think that it's galling for someone like Barack Obama with his record to judge what a successful business is. And I think that there's an underlying contempt for the profit motive that drives this economy, that somehow only successful businesses are those that avoid evil things like cost cutting, which of course is what Romney is under attack by this team.
Right. I mean, let's be honest, whether you're running Walmart, Coca-Cola, Nike, your job is to make money. A byproduct often is creating jobs. My question as a follow-up would be, does working in the public sector for your entire career, does that qualify you to run the economy?
Well, bingo. I think that the question answers itself. And, you know, that there's a very popular contrast and description of the difference between Romney and his supporters and Barack Obama and his supporters. And that is that the Romney types, of course, are the ones who sign the front of the paycheck, and the Obama types are the ones who've spent their entire lives signing the back of them.
Michelle, we want to ask you about this next topic, and that is, as we all recall, Bill Clinton he changed welfare. When he was president, he changed the welfare requirements that actually required recipients to find work or to be working or to look for work. Barack Obama now wants to apparently make some changes to what Bill Clinton had changed. How does President Obama want to change welfare now?
Yeah, well, let's just go back to 1996. Of course, the Clinton Democrats now claim an enormous amount of credit for those welfare reform measures, and they were made under a great amount of pressure from fiscal conservatives and the GOP revolution at the time. Okay, fine, great. Bipartisanship helped us reform much needed that system. Fast forward to the Obama administration, where under very stealthy circumstances, they've passed more waivers. I mean, this is the administrative fiat MO of this very imperial presidency. And essentially what they've done is invoke something called the Section 1115 waivers. Robert Rector at the Heritage Foundation, who has been a long-time welfare reform advocate and policy activist, called attention to this week. And apparently a lot of welfare reform activists are very worried that this is going to sabotage the common sense work requirements that have been in place since 1996.
So getting waivers to actually get them out of not having to be looking for work or currently working while they're receiving this this welfare.
Well, it's interesting because what we've seen is food stamp jump dramatically. $22 billion increase since 2009 when President Obama took office. That's more than President Bush, who did increase it in 8 years, a dramatic increase, arguably, of $18 billion. Why the dramatic increase in the past 3 years? Clayton and I discussed this. The qualifications haven't necessarily changed. They're not making it easier. So why are so many more people on welfare today?
Well, I think that this waiver and those figures are a tacit or explicit admission that all of the massive investments of taxpayer money that the Obama administration has put into trying to pump up this ailing economy have failed. And this latest ploy, this latest executive order, which of course is just the latest in a series of these administrative fiats, is another expansion of the culture of entitlement and the dependency state that Obama has created.
All right, Michelle Malkin, thanks for waking up early with us. Always interesting to hear your perspective. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Michelle.
You bet. You too. Take care.